It's almost, I call this emotional Aikido, where Aikido, instead of striking the other person, you're taking their energy and kind of using it to flip them over, right? It also made me jujitsu. And it's kind of like that, because the obvious is, oh, you punch me, I'm going to punch you back, right?
Yeah.
But instead kind of taking their energy as data and information and going under. That is what diffuses fights very fast.
I'm John Kim, a licensed therapist who used to be a miserable fuck before going on a hero's journey and turning expired relationships into revelations. I use my story to help others come with you instead of at you, unrehearsed on purpose, because self-help doesn't have to be polished or complicated, just honest.
This is a compilation of some of the work from Stan Tatkin, some of the work that our couples therapist has kind of cobbled her own stuff, and then we kind of took it and put our own spin on it, kind of removed some that we didn't really feel were very aligned. Like it's a bit of amalgamation. Okay. So the first one, we protect the safety and security of our relationship at all times. So if we're in a secure dynamic, we know that the safety and security of the relationship is primary, right? And we do whatever we can to protect that.
Number 2, we are fully transparent with each other and tell each other everything. So we wanted to say something about this because there is...
Because it activated the shit out of me when I first heard it.
So for the anxious, of course, you would champion this, right? Of course, we tell each other everything at all times. We are, saran wrap. And then for the avoidant, who's more like aluminum foil, she's like, no, we don't have to tell each other everything all the time. So, yeah, what does this look like to you? And I'll tell you what it looks like to me.
Well, I don't think... I want to be clear also. I mean, yes, you can say this is a little bit more of an avoidant thing, but I also feel like between the two of you deciding what this looks like, because this is not us telling you this is what it should look like. You guys get to take these and then say, what works for us? What does that look like? What does that feel like, right? It's going to be different for everybody. This, to me, without proper understanding and nuance, slips into codependency, which is why I had a kind of a reaction to it. I really do believe in protecting a certain amount of autonomy of the self. There is this saying in depth psychology that I'm kind of still grappling with. It's essentially this concept of like, there is this deep core in every soul that even I don't have access to, right? And so this idea that somebody else gets to have access to that is like, no way.
We aggressively protect our primary as partners from third things, third tasks, and third people that threaten our safety and security. We manage thirds, anything outside of our relationship, together.
Say that again.
So we manage thirds, anything outside of our relationship, together. So that means even our child. We just had a conversation about, people saying that no, our children should come first before our marriage or our relationship. No, actually, according to this rule, we protect our relationship
above all else.
And it's going to affect the child in a better way. It doesn't mean we ignore the child, but if we are broken and hurting and angry and all of that, it's directly going to impact the children are going to absorb that, right?
You think of the primary relationship as the foundation of the house. If the foundation is cracked, the rest of the house falls down, right? The foundation is the most important thing. And you have to protect that. And when we say thirds, by the way, that can mean a best friend. That can mean a family member. That can mean somebody that you might find attractive at work. Like, I don't care who it is. It's a third party, right?
Maybe someone not even alive, like David Bowie.
I won't ever give him up as my third. I'm sorry.
I don't understand her approach, David Bowie.
Yeah, it's the love of my life. My daughter's middle name is Bowie. It's
pasty rock star. I don't know.
So much more than that. I just sense jealousy when he says that, to be honest.
I get that he's a talented musician, but
it's so much more than that. Okay, number 9, we respect and are mindful of. This is an interesting one. Reunions and departures, or departures and reunions. We connect with each other first.
So in the morning, before you leave for work, right? passing each other in the hallway, right? It doesn't have to be a big dramatic looking in each other's eyes and saying, I love you. But it could just be like a pat on the back. It's acknowledgement, right?
Okay. This one was important enough that I actually took a note. I want to read this because there is something to be said here for the attachment styles and how that shows up in separations and reunions. Okay. And I want to give you all some notes on this because this was profound for me when I was learning how this shows up. Separations and reunions are perceived more easily for somebody who falls more on the avoidance spectrum. Separations and reunions are never easy, actually, at a nervous system level. But what happens is somebody who's more avoidant has a lifetime of learning to kind of suppress that and be like, it's no big deal, I'm fine. The anxious is obviously kind of the opposite of that, right? We think that we don't need it. We actually do. We've just gotten ourselves into a state of walled off protection. We, as in the avoidance, that we don't need it.
The other thing that falls under this category, we actually do. It's two of my favorites. John Gottman, I think you guys know who he is. He invented something. No, he invented it, but
it was the Gottman.
They invented something called the 6-second kiss, and it's just they recommend it twice a day, which is actually a lot because there's a lot happens in
12 seconds.
Shit, someone for 12 seconds. It's a long time.
Well, if I do that, then it's off, right?
So look. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000. It's like it's a substantial. It's not a peck. It's like a kiss. Now it doesn't have. You don't have to do like tongue time, right? But a 6-second kiss is actually enough time where you actually do connect. You know what I'm saying? So
The
it's not
nervous
like
system settles.
Yeah, and you could feel someone's kiss, right? So we try to do that. We don't do it every day. We don't do it twice a day, but maybe once every other day we get it in. And then my thing is, and I've always done this, is I call it 5 minutes, and it's just let's go lay down for 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be sexual. Let's just, whether it's a couch, bed, doesn't matter. Let's just kind of like time out and just, and we actually do this a lot. I love it. And she just lays on me,
Sometimes it's not 5 minutes. Sometimes all I can tolerate is 2.
That's fine. I pet her hair. We just lay together. Don't even say anything. And then we go up. I feel recharged. We connected. Then we go about our day. I think that kind of stuff really adds up. Sprinkle. Especially for someone like you, John, where you're thirsty for that kind of stuff. It adds up. Me too. I need that.
I agree. It's complicating factors. We don't live together. We often don't see each other.
Right.
So you're very thirsty for it. Yeah.
If you got a 6-second kiss every day, it almost
It might be a week they don't see each other though. So it's, every day you see each other. Yeah. But what is connection? And this is another thing. So
she's so mad. She's like,
no, that's it. Okay, so my therapist just actually said this to me a week ago. He said, one of the things I want you and John to talk about, and this was my individual therapist, he said, you guys have to decide what is connection. And you both have to agree on it, right? Because if connection is only fucking, somebody's going to be upset a lot of the time. Do you know what I'm saying? And probably it's going to be him.
This piece here, I think, if you take nothing from this retreat, I hope you take this part of it. And this is all about how to fight without fighting. And it's not about how many times we fight. It's about how we fight. I really believe that if you don't fight in a fair way, it's just a matter of time, right? The wings will fall off. The legs will fall out. So we're going to try to teach you how to fight. And fighting is actually, in every relationship, I think it's valuable in that, because people see fighting as, this negative thing, and there's something wrong with us. Why do we keep fighting? There's a lot of people who say, oh yeah, our relationship's perfect, we never fight. And to me, that's kind of a red flag, right? It just, to me, means you're probably not being honest or you're hiding something.
One person's hiding, at least.
Or maybe they do never fight, because I've been in relationships where there wasn't a lot of fighting, but that just means people are holding in things, right? So
because we're going to have conflict. Even if your personalities mesh really well and there's not really things to fight, you're human. There's going to be disagreements, right? And if you're somebody who's like, we never have disagreements, it's usually like when people come to me in therapy and they're like, I had the perfect childhood. I'm like, oh, really? Tell me more.
You have to know when you're fighting, because it's probably the same with also, friendships and with family.
Yep.
what happens to you. So what she just described is such valuable data. When I get into a fight, I dissociate, right? I'm already thinking, when John said, oh, I don't like what happened yesterday, I'm already swiping for another suitor or whatever is happening with her, right? And so if that's what she knows about herself, you know, it's like opening the hood of the engine. Oh, this spark plugs. Now she can take ownership and work on that piece.
Yep.
That's her responsibility. Also, it tells me, oh shit, that's what happens for you. Now I can be empathetic. So if I say, hey, oh man, yesterday, you know, I had these feelings, and she says, well, I'm packing my bags. I don't judge from I'm packing my bags. I think, oh, of course she's going to say that.
I don't say it out loud.
She has
It's in my head.
That's what she's going. And so then if I start saying, oh, if you're packing your bags, I'm packing mine. Now we're up here and we're just butting heads. But if I go to the source, which is, you must be feeling unsafe right now, or
I want to run.
what's happening with you? That because if you say that, it tells me something's going on. So now,
Not about him, right? Like that's not.
right, and that's hard for me to do. I'll be honest. Like if someone says I'm packing my bags, let me help you. You know, that's what I want to say, of course, right? And also, oh, I'm not. That means you don't love me.
I'm not.
Well, this isn't going to work. Like I can also collapse on myself very fast. But if I say, this must be hard for you, if I don't judge what's said, but focus more on her state, I see your eyes are twitching and you're kind of dissociating. What do you need from me? Right? You're going underneath. It's almost, I call this emotional Aikido, where Aikido, instead of striking the other person, you're taking their energy and kind of using it to flip them over, right? It also maybe jujitsu. And it's kind of like that, because the obvious is, oh, you punch me, I'm going to punch you back, right?
Yeah.
But instead kind of taking their energy as data and information and going under. That is what diffuses fights very fast. And logically, you can agree with me, but you have to give yourself the experience of it to be like, holy shit.
It works.
It works. And then you're going to be motivated, because just hearing something it's slippery. Yeah. So
Even if you don't know what it is, I think this is really important. I think there's a lot of us, myself included, who used to believe like I have to go over by myself in the corner and like work through it, work it out and journal, whatever. And when I've got it all sorted out and I have a big pretty bow on it, then I can come back and present it to you. That's not vulnerability. That's not intimacy. Intimacy and vulnerability in a relationship is letting that person see you in the mess of not having it figured out, and letting them help you figure it out. That is really hard for those of us who have a little bit of that more perfectionist tendency, a little bit of that I have to have my shit together all the time because people rely on me and I have to be strong, right? This like, I don't know, I'm a fucking mess right now. I'm angry and I don't even know if I know why this happened. It set me off, what, blah, 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 right? And just like laying it out there, that's really difficult for some of us. But there's a lot of intimacy and opportunity for trust building in doing that. Because if you can allow your partner the opportunity to see you in that, and your partner's doing their own work to like not try to fix it, not try to judge you, you know, and then you can work it out in the presence of somebody, the amount of trust that can be established in that, oh, I'm not in this alone. I don't have to do this by myself. I have somebody.
That's going to be very heavy lifting for you if you're not used to that. That's a form of touting.
Yeah.
Well, are you okay? No, I'm good. I'm good. Whatever.
But then like we're days too, and then like, okay, something's clearly is going on.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, are you sure? And then it just escalates. And then it's like week 4.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
My nervous system would not be able to tolerate that. Like in your shoes, like I would be such a fucking mess. Like just like that empathic, like constantly feeling like there's something going on, but nobody's talking about it.
oh, I feel, and now I don't feel safe because it's like, you go on these like months, like, you know, and we're good. And then it's like another 3 weeks. And I'm like, oh, you're.
But it's baby steps. It's baby steps. I mean, you're getting to know yourself. You're getting to understand that internal system and like, oh, that feels off. What is that? Why is that? What's going on? Oh, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I can say that to her. Something's wrong, but I don't know what. This is all, again, that pivoting.
So these differences, which are, you know, there are different levels in everyone, but is what made me ambivalent in the beginning. And if both of us didn't stretch at all, I don't think we'd be together.
Yeah.
You know, that might be a deal breaker. So I think part of loving someone is knowing them, knowing you, knowing what you want, what you need? How much of it is a legit need and how much of it is you self-soothing or you reparenting? And all of that, all of these questions, you know, it's hard.
Our therapist, you know, and this sounds so silly, but she, like, silly as in like it sounds so simple. She's really big on, you know, she was the one that really pushed us on this idea of going apart, coming back together. What was the word I used yesterday? But anyway, she said
unions and
departures. Thank you. But she also was really big on like once a day, especially when you have kids and life and crazy and whatever, which, I mean, we're all crazy with life. She said the question that her and her husband ask each other is, was I intentional about my relationship today? So she asks herself that question. Where was I intentional about my relationship? Where could I have been more intentional in my relationship? But then they also exchange that. Where do you feel like I wasn't intentional? Where do you feel like I could have been more intentional? Or do you feel like I was intentional today, right? But that word, I think, is really powerful, right? Like, were you just, again, doing life with or at or around? Were we just doing life around each other today? Because that's not intentional, right? Or were there at least a moment or two of intentional connection where I thought, oh, words are hard, but I'm going to look at him in this moment in the kitchen and say, I really appreciate you. Thank you for doing X, Y, and Z. That's intentional. I thought about it. I made him the focus of my intention, you know? So that's been really helpful, I think, for me anyway, to use that terminology.
Yeah. Say, John, I think you're an asshole. No, seriously, say it.
John,
No, not to him, to me. He's not the black belt. He's not the black belt. I'm over here.
It's John too.
Let's say it again.
I think you're an asshole.
Yes, I can be an asshole at times. That's going under. So if you say, John, I think you're an asshole, I say, well, I think you're a bitch. That's a strike for the strike. But if you say, John, I think you're an asshole, if I say, yes, I am, that's not really true.
Then you're like, wait, what?
So I say, wait, I say, absolutely, yeah, I can be an asshole at times. So what are you going to say? What are you going to say to that?
All right. Well, he agrees.
It's basically, I agree with you.
Actually softened the whole thing.
Yes,
They respect
yes.
you more, and
Yeah.
then like I feel like
Yeah.
I was out of line.
I mean, I don't know, that's on you, but
But that's interesting.
right.
That's interesting.
So and I say that because it's the fastest, simplest way to explain this.
Yeah, I like that.
Of course, there's other things that are just more complicated, right? But that, in fights, we do a version of that. If we're not calling someone an asshole, we're saying something, right? So there's an openness that takes you under instead of just, well, you do this, well, you do this. Well, if you didn't do this, I wouldn't do this. If you know, I mean, even with us talking about the love languages, I could say, well, if you did more of this, I would do this. If you were more lovey here, like, and it just, nothing gets resolved. But like, to actually, what is underneath? And also, if you agree, it disarms the other person. Agreeing without, you know,
Sense of self.
losing sense of self.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I said I can be an asshole sometimes, which